Hello, this is Kay from GEM Financial Modeling Academy, and so today I'm going to take you through how to activate scenarios in your financial model using SUMIF function. SUMIF is part of Excel functions, and so how do we activate it to drive scenarios in our model? This is a model that we have created in previous video where we talk about how to activate scenarios using if function. So you see how this model was built, and so in this tutorial we want to showcase how to activate scenarios using SUMIF. Alright, so we've got our scenario selector, which is a drop-down list which was created using data validation, and so these are the three cases that we have. You could have more than this. So we have this part of the model where whatever is chosen in this drop down, it is replicated here. So if we choose best case, all the assumptions here are being pasted here with the help of SUMIF function. So how does SUMIF works? So I'll say equals SUMIF tab, and before that you see SUMIF had cells specified by given condition or criteria. So you need to have some certain set of cells with a condition, just one single condition or criteria, and you want to sum some range of values with respect to this condition. So that's what SUMIF does. SUMIF is different from sum. SUMIF is adding a set of values together with a given condition. So let's see how that will help us to actually activate scenarios here. So I'll say equals SUMIF tab, and the syntax for SUMIF requires range. Where is the range? Now, and after range it requires criteria. After criteria it requires your sum range. And so here the rule here is that your criteria must be a feature out of the range. So your criteria is actually some characteristics from the range. So, and that is why our range in this scenario will be this range. This is our range because our criteria is going to be whatever we select from this drop-down list. So this criteria best case can be found is an attribute of this range. It's a feature on this range. So that is how to actually go about the SUMIF function. So we've named that range as a scene case. So I'm going to redo that to say tab, and the range is this range which has been named as scenario case. Then I'll say comma. The next is the criteria. So the criteria is going to be this drop-down selector. Alright, so I'm going to lock that F4 such that when we drag this formula down, this cell will remain where it is. So comma. Then the next part is the sum range. So it's saying what should we add together. But here because we are on the first assumption, customer per call operator, our sum range is going to be this set of values. But then we are not summing all of these values together. We are only summing those ones that belong to best case. So best case, the sum will only return 50. Alright, so but then we need to get our cell referencing right for this range. This range, when we drag down our formulas, we want this cell to pick the next, to pick the next range, to pick the next, to pick the next, and that is how this will work. So it needs to be row relative, to move by the row, but not move by the column. So I'm going to press F4 3 times in order to ensure that the rows are not locked, but the columns are locked. Columns in Excel is represented by letters, while rows in Excel are represented by numbers. Alright, so this is good. Then you close that. That's all about the SUMIF function. It requires a range, it requires the criteria, and it requires a sum range. But our sum range is row relative. That is, it is allowed to move by the row and remain the same by the column. Alright, so that's that. I will say okay. Then you see that it returns 50 because our best case is being selected. Then if you try to change to base case, you see that it returns 40. You change to worst case, it returns 20. So that is how to activate scenarios using SUMIF function. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to highlight where to paste my formula. I just want to paste only formula. So I'll press Alt HVS and wait for the dialog box to come in, which is the paste special dialog box. Then I click formulas because I just want to paste special formulas. Alright, okay, then you see the other cells replicated where this SUMIF formula is replicated across the row such that we can then see all of our assumptions with respect to the case being selected here. So for worst case, you see it here. Alright, so you can actually see the effect of these changes in your scenarios with respect to the outputs, such that decisions can be made on what the output is reading out. So this is how to activate scenarios using the SUMIF function. So if you have not subscribed to our channel, please subscribe and also turn on the notification bell, and I'll see you in some other videos. Thank you.